Have you ever listened to a song that felt like it was written just for you? A line that echoed your heartbreak? A melody that captured your first love? Or a chorus that screamed your coming-of-age story? For millions of people around the world, those songs belong to Taylor Swift. And they aren't just lyrics. They're memories, they're moments, they're mirrors. This isn't just about a famous singer. This is about why Taylor Swift's lyrics speak to an entire generations, so deeply, so personally, so undeniably. Taylor Swift didn't begin her journey with fame. She began with a journal. At just 12 years old, she was already writing songs about heartbreaks she hadn't even experienced yet. But when those heartbreaks came, she turned them into music that millions would connect to. Teardrops on My Guitar, 15, Back to December. Each of these songs wasn't just a hit. It was a diary entry that spoke for a generation. Unlike so many artists who sing to their audience, Taylor sings with hers. Her songs aren't manufactured for radio. They're built from real emotion, real confusion, and real vulnerability. And that's what made people stop and listen. Because in a world full of noise, she gave us something honest. But Taylor didn't just sing our feelings, she grew up with us. When she released Love Story, she was 17, singing about fairy tale romances. And for many of us, that was our age too. We still believed in perfect love, happy endings, and dramatic gestures. But as we all got older, so did her music. By the time Red came out, she was singing about complicated love, about the kind of relationships that burn too fast and leave scars. And we understood. We were in college, learning how messy love could be. Then came 1989, where she embraced her independence, her fame, and her flaws. It was bold, it was confident, but it still had cracks in it. And when Folklore and Evermore arrived, filled with subtle sadness and poetic reflection, it was like Taylor had stepped into adulthood, just like us. She wasn't telling us what to feel, she was feeling it too. Taylor's greatest strength isn't just her voice, it's her honesty. She's not afraid to say things others won't. In All Too Well, she confesses, "Maybe we got lost in translation. Maybe I asked for too much." And suddenly, every listener thinks about the one that got away, about their own regrets. In The Archer, she whispers, "Who could ever leave me, darling, but who could stay?" That lyric isn't pretty. It's raw, it's insecure, and it hits hard, because deep down, we VA all felt that kind of fear that maybe we read too much for someone to stay. Her lyrics don't always wrap up in a neat bow. Sometimes, they leave you sitting with the sadness. And that's real, that's human. Beyond love and loss, Taylor also speaks to identity and injustice. When she released The Man, she posed a powerful question: what if she had lived her life as a man? Would her ambition have been praised instead of mocked? Would her relationships have been dissected less? In You Need to Calm Down, she stood up for the LGBTQ+ community, asking the world to let people love who they love without fear. Taylor doesn't just sing about her own life. She uses her platform to amplify others. And even though she doesn't always get it right, she's not afraid to try. That courage is something people feel. It's something they respect. What makes Taylor even more extraordinary is her ability to reinvent herself without losing who she is. From country roots to pop superstardom to indie folk storytelling, she's changed her sound many times. But her essence, it stays the same. The girl who once sang about a white dress and a first kiss is the same woman who now sings it, "Es me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me." Her honesty evolves, but it never disappears. And in doing so, she gives us permission to evolve too. To leave behind versions of ourselves we've outgrown, to try something new. To not be afraid of becoming someone different. Her lyrics don't just reflect personal emotion, they've become part of culture. You hear, "You belong with me," and suddenly you're 16 again, watching someone you love fall for someone else. You hear, "We are never ever getting back together," and you remember that dramatic, messy breakup. You hear "I remember it all too well," and suddenly, you're back in that moment that hurt you more than you admitted. Her songs are more than music. They're emotional time machines. They take us back not just to the memory, but to the feeling. Taylor didn't just build a fan base, she built a community. Swifties don't just listen, they decode, they analyze, they celebrate Easter eggs, they form theories, share heartbreaks, cry together, heal together. Her music creates space, a space where you can be sensitive, where you can overthink, where you can be too much. And for a generation raised on social media, pressure, and comparison, Taylor's music feels like the safe space we didn't know we needed. Of course, her story hasn't been smooth. Taylor's faced public ridicule, media takedowns, and even legal battles over her own music. When her masters were taken from her, she didn't play the victim. She took back control. She re-recorded her albums, reclaiming her voice, her work, her legacy. That's not just an artist standing up for herself. That's a woman telling the world, "You, Dante, get to rewrite my story, I do." And in that moment, she wasn't just Taylor Swift. She was all of us. She was every person who ever felt voiceless, finally finding the strength to speak. So why do Taylor Swift's lyrics speak to an entire generation? Because they aren't just words. They are echoes of our heartbreak, our joy, our mistakes, and our hope. Because she reminds us that it's okay to feel too much, to be vulnerable, to cry over something that happened years ago, to remember someone who forgot us. She tells us that love matters, that feelings matter, that we matter in a world that moves fast, that tells us to forget and move on. Taylor's music tells us, pause, feel it, learn from it, write about it, and then move forward. Not because you have to, but because you're ready. Taylor Swift isn't just a pop star, she's a soundtrack to our coming of age, to our healing, to our growing up and our breaking down. She gave us songs, but more than that, she gave us a voice. And if she ever wrote a lyric that felt like it was pulled from your own life, then you already know. This isn't just music, this is personal.